Hello everyone, I'm Caro with Think It, Cake It. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the different size of cake pans, their servings, and the plate size they should go on. So let's go ahead and get started. When you go to a grocery store, you buy your cake mix box, right? Once you add all the ingredients to it, your cake mix box is going to give you, it's gonna usually request an 8-inch pan or a 9-inch pan. You'll be fine with an 8x3. This is 8x3, 3 inches referring to the height and 8 inches referring to the diameter. If you get your ruler, your diameter inside is 8 inches. Great. Okay. Like I said, so the cake mix will give you, if you pour it all in here, it's gonna fit perfectly. It's not gonna overflow or anything. It'll cook fine right there. Oh, one tip. I usually cook all my cakes at 320 degrees. This size in particular for 45 minutes. For 45 minutes at 320 degrees, you'll have to also know your oven, that my oven bakes it perfect at that temperature. Okay, so getting back to the size. The 8x3 pan will serve you approximately, depending on how you cut the size of the cake slice, it should give you 21 to 25 pieces. I've been able to get up to 28 pieces out of the 8x3 pan. Okay, but it's really up to you, but you should be able to get at least 20 slices, at least. Okay, being able to, cutting it to the size, a good size, a good portion for us will give you 20 slices. So like I said, one whole cake mix will bake an 8x3 pan, or a cake mix box will bake what it is, the quarter sheet pan. The quarter sheet pan is an 11 by 2. I'm sorry, 7 by 11 by 2. 7 by 11 by 2 inches high. You see the difference? One is higher than the other. So that means your cake is just gonna be not as high as you would use on an 8x3, right? Now, whenever you do a 6-inch cake pan, one pan will give you, the 6-inch should give you up to 15 slices. Again, depending on how you cut your slices, but it should be able to give you at least 15 slices. And a cake mix, one box of cake mix will do 2. So if you fill it up halfway, you're gonna get 2 of these cake pans, so 2 cakes of 6 inches, and it's gonna be higher than 6x2. Once it gets it bakes, it'll get the desired width of the cake. It'll be a pretty good cake size. So like I said, a 6x3 cake will serve you about 15 people, between 12 to 15 slices. Okay, now when you're baking, you sometimes you especially because it happened to me when I started baking. I didn't think of where I was gonna put the cake. I just got a plate and I put it on there. Yes, that's fine. The thing is that when you want to give it as a gift or you want to take it somewhere, well, there are cake boards. Okay, these cake boards, you can get them at any of your cake supply stores or your grocery. Some big name grocery stores have them. Okay, so if you have a 6-inch cake pan, you want to use at least an 8-inch board. The reason being, once you put your cake pan, and if you add any icing, you want to have enough room to be able to transport your cake. Okay, so a 6-inch cake goes on an 8-inch cake board, and your 8-inch cake board goes on an 8-inch, an 8x8 box. Okay, so whenever you go to a cake supply store, tell them I have a 6-inch cake on an 8-inch board. It's very important. So I need the box to go with the board. That way they know, okay? I've seen some people do it on the same size of board, but it's just really hard to manage without, without putting your finger in the butter, in the icing, in the buttercream, I meant to say. When you have the same size of board and then the same size of cake. So an 8-inch board will be perfect for a 6-inch cake. Now, if you're doing an 8-inch cake pan, what size of cake board do you think you're gonna need? So if it was a 6-inch cake, it was on an 8-inch board, so 2 inches bigger. So if it's an 8-inch cake pan, what size of board? Well, you want at least a 10-inch board, okay? A 10-inch board for your 8-inch cake pan. Again, this is so you can have enough room to ice your cake, do your decorations, and be able to hold it and transfer it to wherever you need to do so. The same goes for your quarter sheet cake pan, okay? So like I said, this is a 7 by 11 by 2 cake pan, and my cake board is a quarter sheet cake board, okay? This is a 14 by 10, okay? So if you see, once I were to put my cake over it, I still have room to add icing and to be able to hold it and transport it wherever I need to, okay? And again, this board would go on a 14.5 by 10.5 cake box. This 10-inch cake board would go on a 10-inch cake box. And this 8-inch cake board would go on an 8-inch cake box. The reason you want the same size of cake box is so your board doesn't shift around especially when you're driving. If you're taking it somewhere else, if you put this board on a 12-inch board, the likelihood of it shifting around and sliding around is gonna be pretty high, and your cake, might have an accident. So it's just sturdier to have it on a same size box, okay? And I have this board just to show you. I personally like to put it on a cake board 2 times the cake pan size. So if I have it on an 8-inch board, I like to use a 12-inch cake board. If I have an 8-inch cake pan, I like to use a 12-inch cake board. Just because I do, my icing is pretty thick. I do a good layer of icing. And then when I add my borders and stuff, I want to have enough room to hold my board without having, without running into the icing. But that's just my personal preference. I hope you learned something from this. Let's recap. So your cake mix box will make 2 of these baking pans. When you fill it to the half, okay, you'll make 2, so you'll get a good size cake. Really pretty. The way they're being very popular right now, kind of high. They're super cute. So a 6-inch cake pan gives you 12 to 15 servings, and you want to put it on an 8-inch cake board, okay? Your 8-inch cake pan will give you 20 to 28 servings, depending on how you cut it. And you want to put it at least on a 10-inch cake board. And again, this is the one cake mix box will all fit in here, will all bake in here. And also one cake mix box will bake in a 7 by 11 by 2 cake pan. So your 7 by 11 by 2 cake pan, you want it on a 14 by 10 cake board. And this is known as the quarter sheet, which will give you approximately 25 servings, okay? There are also other cake pans, so just keep in mind, during this pandemic, the 4-inch and the 5-inch cake size became super popular because, people are staying in home, and just the families, just the couples, it's just being just them and the family, the close family, and they don't want a big cake. So the 4 inches and the 5-inch cake pans became super popular. So if you have a 4-inch cake pan, you want to do a 6-inch cake board. If you have a 5-inch cake pan, you want to do a 7-inch cake board at least. Okay everyone, well this was my video this time around. I hope you learned something from it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can get notified as soon as I upload a new video. I appreciate all of you watching me, and see you next time. Bye bye.